Lagos, the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. Accord Party cancels open rallies across Osun State as Governor Adeleke urges residents to stay calm, vigilant and peaceful ahead of the upcoming governorship election. Senator Francis Fadausi honors police summons, denies allegedly ordering supporters to kill Accord Party members, insists viral video was edited and his remarks misrepresented ahead of Saturday's election. Senate gives Seplat Energy, Network EMP Nigeria and two other oil firms 48 hours to answer questions arising from NATI's 2021, 2022 and 2023 audit reports. And millions across UK, Europe witness most significant solar eclipse since 1999, creating rare celestial spectacle.
And on business news, Nigeria meets OPEC quota for third consecutive month as July crude output hits 1.5 million barrels per day.
On sports news tonight, Nigeria Super Falcons ready for winner-takes-all showdown against South Africa in Casablanca as they seek a pathway to next year's World Cup through the playoffs.
From the nation's capital, normal flight operations resume in Abuja, Lagos after aviation labor disruption as Air Peace urges federal government to investigate Tuesday's domestic flight disruptions and labor dispute.
Ahead of Saturday's Osun State governorship election, the Accord Party has convened local government chairmen, cabinet members and other key groups for a strategic meeting focused on the preparations for the poll. Arising from that meeting, the party cancelled open rallies across the state as Governor Adeleke urged residents to stay calm, vigilant and peaceful ahead of the upcoming governorship election. In the meantime, security says preparations have also intensified with the Inspector General of Police, the IGP, deploying the DIG Ishaku Mohammed to coordinate election security across the state and help support a peaceful and credible process. Meanwhile, the Osun East Senator Francis Fadausi has honored the police invitation over a viral video containing alleged inflammatory remarks. Now, the senator maintains that he was misconstrued and the video was edited.
It's a crucial meeting ahead of Saturday's equally vital Osun State governorship election as the Accord Party brings together local government chairmen, cabinet members and other key groups to strategize. The meeting is, however, held behind closed doors. The Mole Campaign Organization's publicity secretary, Bamidele Salam, is mandated to brief journalists afterwards, with the safety of party members and residents featuring prominently.
There will be adequate provision of security of the lives and property before, during and after Saturday's governorship election. We also got an assurance that, the electoral body has given a commitment that they were going to play by the rules. But even in spite of that assurance, our members have been encouraged to shine their eyes, as the saying goes, and be very vigilant. Be very peaceful, yes, but be very, very vigilant and ensure that nothing untoward happens in the polling centers, in the collation centers and every other place.
Meanwhile, the police are stepping up security with the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, deploying DIG Ishaku Mohammed to Osun State to coordinate election security and support a peaceful and credible poll. Elsewhere, Osun East Senator Francis Fadausi honors a police invitation over a viral video containing alleged inflammatory remarks. The senator says he was misconstrued and that the video was edited.
We have met and I've told them what I said, not the one manipulated by these mischievous interpreters of Yoruba language. We said, come between now and Saturday election, we will kill them with our vote. When I look at the video, it's almost 38 minutes. A mischievous man, I don't know where he comes from, whether he's on drug or where, misinterpreted from somebody's blog.
The police say investigations are ongoing and assure residents of adequate security.
We got a report on insightful statements from the distinguished senator, and he was invited here, which you are aware, and we went through some questioning with him for several hours. Investigation is ongoing to the allegations of insightful comment, and we will update members of the public as we proceed.
As the clock ticks down to Saturday's pivotal poll, all eyes remain on Osun State to see whether these intensified security measures, legal adjustments and party strategies will deliver a peaceful, transparent and memorable election day.
Well, here's some good news for members of the SDP as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has added the Social Democratic Party's candidate, Dr. Francis Ajala, and his running mate, Fashake Oladipo, to the ballot for Saturday's Osun State governorship poll. Now, the development follows a federal high court judgment delivered in Abuja on July the 22nd, ordering INEC to recognize the process and publish Mr. Ajala's candidacy. Now, the INEC says ballot papers and result sheets are being reproduced to accommodate the SDP, bringing the number of participating political parties to 15. The Commission says the updated materials will arrive in Osun on Thursday and then be distributed to the local government areas across the state. INEC therefore reaffirmed its commitment to a free, fair and credible election. Meanwhile, the country's electoral umpire INEC says the stage is now set for the conduct of the Osun State governorship election scheduled for Saturday. Speaking on our political program, Politics Today, on issues relating to the poll, the Deputy Director, Information and Publicity of the electoral umpire, Wilfred Ifoga, explains that with the assured secured plans on ground, the atmosphere should be conducive enough for staff to operate.
To ensure that we reduce this number of invalid votes on election day, the Commission decided to go customize ballot papers and result sheets just for those participating in the election, so that there's no room for error trying to help voters during election, during the voting process. That's what we tried doing. That's why you find us trying to, streamline to the number of those participating in the election. More so, it will also reduce errors, as well as make those handling some of all these materials to be more, focused. However, we had similar issue in Ekiti, where we have to now go and, expand the ballot paper by accommodating the other ones, just in case whatever happens. We know we are not going back to print the ballot papers again. But however, this one happened, and the judgment came 22nd, but then, even when the judgment is given like that, the Commission needs to wait for a certified true copy. Then the Commission will go through it. And before the process of, deliberating and procurement, because over 2.4 million ballot sheets is not just, it's not what you can get over the counter or you just go to a business center to, print. It has to go through the right process. It has to be designed in order to ensure that it conforms with our template before it is given out. So it's after then, the Commission started the process of getting it done. And hopefully tomorrow, the sensitive materials, which is the ballot paper and the result sheets, will be distributed to the local government area. The Commission did not just start today engaging stakeholders, especially the political parties and their followers and their supporters, as the case may be, by letting them know that, yes, election is not war. Election has to do with them, voting their choice of candidate. And when they go out to campaign, they should avoid this kind of rhetoric that can easily, get the politics tense. Because for us as the management body, we are not pleased with what is happening, because we want an environment or a situation whereby when we send out ad hoc personnel, as well as even for us, the permanent staff, when we go out to monitor this exercise, even for the voters themselves too, we want a situation whereby everyone comes in there without fear or being intimidated, so that they can do the right thing.
Well, as you already may know, Osun State is counting down to Saturday's governorship election, with political parties and their candidates intensifying their campaigns across the 30 local government areas of the state. Our correspondent, PoliticsToday, is in Osogbo, the state capital, where he spoke with some of the residents to feel the pulse of the people ahead of the election.
We are here at a popular area called Okefia in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, just about 72 hours to the much anticipated governorship election. In the past few weeks, the build-up to the election has been marked by intense political activities, including accusations and counter-accusations of violence by political parties and their candidates, with series of political alignments and realignments. But beyond these rhetorics and controversies, the big question is, what are the people saying? Join me as I go to the streets to speak to the Osun voters to feel their pulse ahead of Saturday's election.
All political parties should be straightforward. You can say there should be no acrimony between them. The INEC is the author. They should not compromise with any party. That's number one. The security officer should stand well, to be upright in their dealing with the public.
What we anticipate is for people to come out and vote, because the government already assured us that there won't be any violence, and that's why we see the increased presence of security operatives. They said we should come out and vote for candidates of our choice. There shouldn't be any violence at the polling units. We should vote peacefully, so there's no problem for now. I implore INEC and security operatives to be fair. They shouldn't favor any party. They should be fair and unbiased. Ours is to vote, theirs is to ensure our vote counts. With that, there won't be a problem. People want to be sure that their votes will count. Anybody can win the election, but we have to be sure it's who we voted for that wins. We shouldn't favor any party, nor manipulate the final results to avoid violence.
The mood is somehow tense now, because both parties they are using, let me see, the loggerhead sharp. That power tussle is highly tense somehow, and we pray that we have a very peaceful election in Osun on Saturday, because we don't pray for bloodshed, we don't pray for any chaos, whatever. We in Osun, we people of Osun want a very peaceful and credible election. I will implore the INEC and the security agency to be fair. They shouldn't be biased. We people of Osun are peace-loving people. Anything that will cause chaos, that will cause bloodshed in Osun, we don't want it. And again, I will implore the INEC, both INEC and the security operatives to be fair, to carry out their duties diligently. So they shouldn't be biased. It shouldn't be partisan.
Ahead of Saturday's election, well, I'm praying to myself that the town should just be a peaceful town, and the election should just go in a peaceful way. There should not be bloodshed, and there should not be all this assault, burning of houses, shops. I pray it just be a peaceful election. That's what I'm praying after this, because God has already known the winner. So, but we will all come out and vote, because my vote also will count. And I knew where I'm going to vote for, so I don't need to disclose that.
Their demands are clear: peaceful, credible, and transparent election. That's all they want. With about 30 local government areas, 332 wards, and about 3,763 polling units, about 2.3 million voters are expected to participate in Saturday's governorship election. And as usual, as the countdown continues, Channels Television is on ground to give you minute-by-minute updates and comprehensive coverage of this election as it unfolds. From Osogbo, the Osun State capital, PoliticsToday, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, Senate gives Seplat Energy, Network EMP Nigeria, and 2 other oil firms 48 hours to answer questions arising from NATI's 2021, 2022, and 2023 audit reports. Please stay with us.
When your name couldn't open doors, you didn't give up. You made your way in anyway, only to find out that there are many doors you still need to open. So you work hard to get the keys until your name began to open doors.
Let Meristem help you keep the doors open for generations to come. Meristem, let's grow wealth for you.
This award goes to the most punctual student of the entire school. And the winner is Lisa Solomon.
Something is telling me that she makes her daughter skip breakfast just to be here. You people could have just asked. I would have been happy to tell you my secret.
Enjoy instant goodness with John Vent's 3-in-1 chocolate. The quickest start to your morning.
I will be there by your side every moment and night. I'll be there with you all the way, all the way.
Care changes everything with Able. Able HMO, empowering you to live healthier, fuller lives.
Excuse me, ma. This is your 100% human hair.
Babes, are you sure you want to spend this much on hair?
Since your landlord just increased rent, I saved for this one separately on money points.
You say you save on money points?
Yes.
This madam money points here, the array of Yadrea is target savings money points I used to have it. The rest of this my sub is fit savings money points I used to do it. The salary of this my staff is save as you transact.
Jennifer, money points save as you transact. Money points fixed savings and money point target savings.
Madam, why the job I don't contribute to it? Why should I? Come on, oh, you go give your money to Hadaku to pay. You see money points account there. You don't go open a savings account. Now Hadaku you should. I beg everybody inside this my saloon. Oh, you bring out your phone and download the money point app now. Even you. What are you waiting for?
Download the Money Point banking app now and start saving the bank you can trust.
Money Point, made for your progress.
Oh yeah! Make with us now! Yes, yeah!
Morning, everyone. Here's to a tough day. Here's to living the creamy and delicious life.
We go dance until the morning light. Everything is feeling right tonight. Baby.
Have a top day with Top Cafe.
Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Accord Party cancels open rallies across Osun State as Governor Adeleke urges residents to stay calm, vigilant and peaceful ahead of the upcoming governorship poll. Senator Francis Fadausi honors police summons, denies allegedly ordering supporters to kill Accord Party members, and says viral video was edited and his remarks misrepresented ahead of Saturday's election. Senate gives Seplat Energy, Network EMP Nigeria, and 2 other oil firms 48 hours to answer questions arising from NATI's 2021, 2022, and 2023 audit reports. And millions across UK, Europe witnessed most significant solar eclipse since 1999, creating rare celestial spectacle. So beaming our searchlight on the Osun governorship election coming this Saturday, and as part of efforts to ensure a peaceful process, the Nigeria police has barred the Western Nigeria Security Network, Amotekun, vigilante groups, joint civilian task force, hunters associations, community-based security groups, and neighborhood watch outfits from participating in security operations during the August 15th governorship poll in Osun State. The police, in a statement signed by the force public relations officer, Aniete Iniedu, says non-state and quasi-security formations have no role in election security, including escorting electoral materials, guarding polling units, mounting checkpoints, or even bearing arms. The statement, issued on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, urged all concerned to comply with the directive in the interest of peace. According to the statement, the police warned political parties, candidates, supporters, and members of the public against violence, intimidation, and thuggery during the election. The statement adds that recurring electoral offenses such as ballot snatching, voter intimidation, vote buying, and clashes between rival supporters will not be tolerated, as anyone involved in such offenses, either as a direct perpetrator or sponsor, will be arrested and prosecuted irrespective of political affiliation or status. A former vice president and presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, the ADC, Atiku Abubakar, has warned INEC, security agencies, and the Tinubu administration against militarizing the Osun governorship poll or using state institutions for partisan advantage. Speaking at the ADC National Youth Leadership Summit in Abuja, Mr. Atiku described Osun as a test of Nigeria's commitment to credible elections ahead of the next general elections in 2027. He questioned the scale of security deployment around the poll, saying elections are civil engagements, not military operations, and called on INEC to ensure the timely arrival of materials, unhindered voting, transparent counting, and credible transmission of results. He also raised fresh questions over the certificate President Bola Tinubu submitted to INEC, citing reported discrepancies in dates, signatures, and the description of the degree. He invoked Section 137(1)(j) of the Constitution, which provides for disqualification where a presidential candidate presents a forged certificate to INEC and demanded authentication of the exact document submitted. The ADC chieftain further pledged greater youth participation in politics, promising that at least 30% of legislative candidates under his political program would be below 40, with a significant number under 30. Mr. Atiku Abubakar then urged young Nigerians to move beyond social media activism and take an active role in political organization and leadership. With the Osun governorship election fast approaching, civic group Yaga Africa is equipping journalists in Osogbo to combat election misinformation and ensure reliable coverage. Speaking at the media workshop, Yaga Africa Executive Director Samson Itodo warns that the upcoming poll is fiercely competitive, citing rising political violence. He urged reporters to master INEC's latest voting technologies and result transmission mechanisms to counter potential political manipulation. A project lead, Stefan Sunday, adds that because result collation is the most contentious electoral phase, journalists must serve as the frontline defense for timely, accurate, and credible news.
I think what is clear is that this is a competitive election. It's competitive for a lot of reasons. You clearly see in the build-up to this election, there has been a very tense political environment that is signposted with violence. Based on the Kuka Center's Election Security Information Hub, there have been over 34 deaths in the build-up to these elections. We've also seen very incendiary statements that are meant to inflame, certain fault lines in this election. And when you look at the historical antecedents where results have been contested in this election, it was necessary to engage with journalists who are reporting elections and to take them through the results management process.
So I spoke on the election result analysis dashboard, which is one of Yaga Africa's methodologies that they are deploying for this election. It was first deployed at the Ekiti election. And basically what that does is that it helps citizens to be able to consume the results that are uploaded on IREV. I like to use this analogy. Think of how you make a payment through your bank. Your bank records it and then sends you the receipt. You get the receipt. Now, that receipt is what you use to confirm what the bank has, the transaction that has taken place through the bank. But it does not in any way, take the place of the bank, your receipt, right? So this is what we have with the ERAD. The INEC is there to declare the results.
Indeed, the race to the Osun Government House is fierce. 14 political parties jostling for one office, and just recently the SDP just joined the group, now making it 15. 15 parties, 15 candidates, 1 seat. Remember, the campaigns must end 48 hours before the election commences, according to INEC stipulations. Well, this next report takes a look at the candidates vying for the #1 political seat in Osun State ahead of Saturday's election.
The race for the Osun State Government House is heating up. With just days to the governorship election, 15 political parties are now in the race for 1 seat, and the recent entry of the Social Democratic Party, the SDP, has made an already competitive contest even more intriguing. 15 parties, 15 candidates, 1 government house. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says it is redesigning the ballot paper to accommodate the SDP logo, following a court ruling that paved the way for the party to participate in the election. The Commission says the redesigned ballot paper is expected to be ready by Thursday, August 13th, just 2 days before the election. Under INEC guidelines, campaigns must come to an end 48 hours before polling begins, meaning the candidates are now in the final stretch of what has been a fiercely contested campaign. And here are some of the key players in the race for the heart of Osun State, the Okefia Government House. The incumbent Ademola Adeleke is seeking another term in office, while a long list of challengers is determined to unseat him. Among those in the race are Action Alliance Olanrewaju Farinloye, African Action Congress Olajide Esan, African Democratic Congress Najim Salam, African Democratic Party Adeagbo Okpawoye, All Progressives Congress Bola Oyebamiji, All Progressives Grand Alliance Additional Adeyemi Doro, Allied People's Movement Adewale Adebayo, Action People's Party Clement Adeshuye, Boot Party Masilo Adeleke, New Nigeria People's Party Taufik Adeleke, People's Redemption Party Saliu Oyelami, Social Democratic Party SDP Francis Ajala, Young Progressives Party Olalekan Ogunshakin, and Zenith Labour Party Adefemi Adeshuye.
All it does is...
With the campaigns now entering their final hours, some of the candidates have been outlining their visions and priorities for Osun State.
We are fixed on 200, healthcare centers. Are you talking about the infrastructure? There are some roads that I visited and went round that have been abandoned for more than 45 years. Some 35 years, I said it's not acceptable. I fix it. People will also not ready. In the last 2 months, I have been endorsing almost 42 sectors, groups. The private enterprise, even the government, the civil servants have endorsed. The only candidate that can give them peace is Najim Salam and ADC. For that, I'm so confident, relying on God's power. As my godfather, I'm so much confident that God will do it and I'll have the day in my government.
Politicians are supposed to be accountable to people, supposed to be accountable to the citizens, and that is what every one of us needs to understand.
We want to extend those road projects to the rural areas so that transportation from places where we have our farmers can become easy for all of us who live in the city who consume the products of the farmers.
But beyond the promises and political rhetoric, what exactly do the people of Osun want from those seeking their votes? This is the government house, and this is the residence of the next elected government of Osun State. Will the incumbent return here? Or would they choose an entirely different new government? It is entirely up to the residents of Osun State. And the same residents are asking that everything be done by federal, states, and local governments, security agents across the board to ensure that there is credible election, it is free and fair and devoid of rancor. Tension is high in different places because of reports of violent clashes that we've been hearing among the political parties. But these residents are looking beyond this, and they want everything done to make sure that their votes count and their voices are heard come Saturday. From the Osun State Government House, Bukola Oriowo, Channels Television News.
Away from the political situation in Osun State now to the National Assembly, where the Senate Public Accounts Committee has given Seplat Energy, Network EMP Nigeria and 2 other oil companies 48 hours to appear before it over queries raised in NATI's 2021, 2022 and 2023 audit reports. The committee, chaired by Senator Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo, warned that failure to honor the summons could trigger the National Assembly's constitutional powers. The action followed concerns over the company's absence from previous proceedings. Senator Abdul Ningi insisted that Sections 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution empowers the National Assembly to summon individuals and organizations for explanations on matters under investigation. The committee subsequently directed the affected companies to appear, warning of sanctions for continued non-compliance. Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria meets OPEC quota for third month as July crude output hits 1.51 million barrels per day. And that's on Business News. Please join us again.
We interrupt this broadcast for this special announcement. Nigeria's premier building solutions company, Lafarge Africa PLC, is now HBM Nigeria PLC.
As HBM Nigeria PLC, formerly Lafarge, we remain a leader in sustainable building solutions and innovation. Together, you and us have built the foundations of yesterday and today. Together, we'll build the next possibilities. HBM Nigeria PLC, formerly Lafarge Africa PLC, beyond buildings.
No put your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange the stars to give us small wisdom. Shout my teeth fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Before I go talk, say our smile no reach. Where can I think I'm twice so? Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oil care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, if you're down to brush, no more cover mouth. Because we Colgate, that's who do yaga with your smile.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
For years, we believed that world-class meant far away. In healthcare, precision is everything. But the distance between you and exceptional care has just disappeared. We don't just practice medicine, we are driven by high standards. At Duchess International Hospital, we've brought the world's most advanced technology and global expertise right to the heart of Lagos, where cutting-edge technology meets the warmth of Nigerian hospitality. Recover in our warm, hospitable wards and dedicated physio units designed for your comfort and recovery. For VIP patients, our exclusive Royal Suites offer comfort and privacy. From complex cardiac procedures to premium wellness checks, no visas, no long flights, just family by your side. Exceptional healthcare isn't only across the ocean anymore. It's here. Duchess International Hospital, world-class care here at home. Experience the new standard.
Welcome back. You're still watching the news at 10. Let's get more stories and reports now from the nation's capital, and Gloria Mizuke is standing by. Over to you, Gloria.
Thank you, Ayo.
Here in the nation's capital, normal flight operations have returned to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and the General Aviation Terminal in Lagos, following Tuesday's face-off between aviation labor unions and airline operators that disrupted domestic flight operations. While passengers expressed relief, domestic carrier Air Peace is asking the federal government to investigate the disruption.
For air passengers traveling across Nigeria, the disruption of flights on Tuesday by aviation unions meant delays, uncertainty, and in some cases, missed travel plans. With industrial action suspended after the Ministry of Aviation's intervention, normal operations gradually returned to the Abuja airport.
Of course, it's expected that if a lot of flights were cancelled yesterday, it's expected that today will be very hectic. But I think they're doing their best. You can see the queues on, the counters are gradually freeing. I didn't spend so much time getting my boarding pass.
The unions are also calling for continued dialogue among all parties to prevent a recurrence.
We have a lot of workers in the industry that are not unionized. And you know how sensitive aviation industry is. People must work in a decent environment with well-packaged welfare to avoid any compromise that might lead to the act of unlawful interference against civil aviation.
At the Lagos terminal, flight operations have also resumed. From the Lagos airport to a briefing by domestic carrier Air Peace, this time the airline says it chooses to touch on the issues that caused the disruptions yesterday.
We therefore call on the federal government, the security agencies, the airport authorities, and aviation regulators to please conduct a thorough and independent investigation into yesterday's unacceptable events. This therefore raises a fundamental question. If the issue is industry-wide, why was Air Peace singled out for violence and disruptive ticketing?
The airline further accuses the unions of acting in defiance of a 2024 court ruling, which it says its staff obtained to bar them from joining the unions. It argues that the picketing amounted to a disregard for the rule of law. Bukola Joe Oketumbi, Channels Television News.
Partnerships with philanthropic organizations and development partners must align with Nigeria's health policies and priorities while strengthening sustainable domestic health systems. That's according to the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate. The minister said Nigeria welcomes innovation and external support where they contribute to expanding access to basic primary health care, improving financing, strengthening supply chains, and supporting domestic production of medicines and diagnostic products. He stated this in Abuja when a delegation from Maisha Meds, led by its founder and CEO, Dr. Jessica Vernon, paid a visit to discuss the organization's healthcare financing, medicines access platform, and possible areas of collaboration with the federal government.
As you contemplate how to engage with us, it's high stakes. We will welcome, but we'll welcome it going in the direction that government of Nigeria has taken, expanding access to basic primary health care with all the regulatory safeguards, with the financing modalities that allows public financing to sustain it, and using the instrumentality of our group purchasing organization so that you are reinforcing our national systems.
Fantastic.
Not to adapt what works in some other country and think that you can do it here. Because all the countries that you're working with as unitary countries, where the only federal system, the countries you have are Uganda, Tanzania,
and
Kenya, and us, and Nigeria. So Kenya is the only one that is now federal with their new constitution, but the two others are all unitary systems. So Nigeria's fiscal federalism is very unique. And the governance of health in that context is very unique. And while it is mixed, there is the policy direction of government. We want to be sure that we're able to sustain it.
The work that we would like to discuss here is what we're calling Healthy Futures, which is a results-linked health financing mechanism that will operate across 4 countries in Africa. We're interested in scaling that work. The goal is to be using digital tools, including the platform that we have built, but also in partnership with others, including SFH, hopefully Sproxel, and others in Nigeria and elsewhere. We hope to be able to support about 100 million patients with this intervention over 5 years, and be supporting about 50,000 and digitizing 50,000 PPMVs, pharmacies, and drug shops in other countries as well.
To company news, the pioneer composite Takaful insurance firm, Noor Takaful Insurance Limited, and its subsidiary, Noor Health, have distributed 427 million naira in surplus to participants who did not make claims on their insurance during the 2024 financial year. The companies say the surplus payments underscores the principles of financial protection, which it is known for: values of equity, fairness, mutual responsibility, transparency, and shared benefits upon which Takaful Insurance is built.
The 2026 Noor Takaful Insurance Annual Surplus Distribution Ceremony brought together regulators, participants, enrollees, healthcare providers, brokers, corporate partners, and other key stakeholders to celebrate another milestone in ethical insurance and healthcare financing. This year's ceremony marks 2 significant achievements as Noor Takaful Insurance Limited and Noor Health Limited distributed a combined 427.96 million naira surplus to participants and enrollees at the ceremony, which had the theme Promise Kept, celebrating Takaful's commitment to shared reward.
For many years, Takaful was seen as a niche proposition or simply an alternative form of insurance. Today, that perception has changed. Takaful is increasingly recognized as a credible and established alternative to conventional insurance. In simple terms, when you need us, we're there for you. And when the fund performs well, we share the benefit with you. That is what makes Takaful Insurance different, and that is what makes it a win-win insurance.
The leadership of the company speaks further to the essence of the surplus distribution and the claims celebration ceremony.
Basically, Takaful is about mutual cooperation, and it comes from a word, kafara, which is everybody supporting one another. And it's something we've always done on the family level, on friends level, on school level, and association level, contributing to a fund.
Since we commenced operations, Noor Takaful has paid approximately 7.4 billion in general Takaful claims and 14.5 billion in family Takaful claims. Together, that represents approximately 22 billion in claims paid to our participants and beneficiaries.
The National Insurance Commission, NICOM, commended Noor Takaful Insurance Limited and reiterated its commitment to upholding regulatory standards.
The commissions remain committed to ensuring clear regulatory and operational boundaries between Takaful and conventional insurance. This is essential for consumer protection.
A major highlight of the ceremony was the distribution of surplus checks to 22 Noor Takaful participants and individuals, as well as 2 Noor Health enrollees. The event also witnessed the unveiling of a book, a primer on Takaful.
We've been very, very also prudent and strategic in our investment policies, so that over the years we've been able to grow that fund to be very healthy and robust, so that consistently we've been able to distribute surplus.
As Noah Takaful approaches its 10th year of operations in 2027, the company says it will continue working with regulators and stakeholders to deepen insurance awareness and expand Takaful participation as it remains convinced that this is the future of insurance in Nigeria.
Well, that's it from the nation's capital. It's over now to you, Ayo, in Lagos.
Many thanks, Gloria. With more company news, and this time too talking about corporate social responsibility, where CIG Motors has donated 10 vehicles worth more than 300 million to the Lagos State Security Trust Fund in a fresh boost to the security architecture. Now, the automobile company says the intervention reinforces its long-standing relationship with Lagos, describing security as critical to investment, economic growth, and sustainable development.
It's the official handover of 10 vehicles from CIG Motors to the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, an intervention reinforcing private sector support for government security architecture.
Yeah, this one is a handover because the packaging one we don't have stock.
This handover reaffirms the commitments of CIG Motors to strengthening the security landscape of Lagos.
For this donation, that's what we say is a big thing for us. We once again appreciate all the person who bring the safety to the country. 10 cars is just a number represents, but a big heart, a big appreciation. We want the news, we want the media can see.
The Lagos State Security Trust Fund says it is largely donor-funded, relying on supports from individuals, businesses, and other stakeholders to strengthen security operations.
We're a donor-funded agency. We do not get subvention from the government. All we rely on for our funding is a voluntary contribution from Lagosians, then the business owners, the entrepreneurs, and all that. You invited us and say, LSSTF, we've been hearing of your exploit. I want to support you now. And you made your promise a reality. In less than a week, 10 vehicles is never a joke.
We present to you the Wuling N11 cargo variant.
The donation comprises 4 Wuling N11 vehicles, 3 Wuling XC250 vehicles, and 3 JMC Vigors pickup trucks, all aimed at boosting the operational capacity of security agencies across the state.
When we get this donation, it might either be in cash or it might as well be in kind. What we've received today now is in kind, and it makes our work very easy. We tell the users about those who are behind this donation so that they know that they need to take the ownership of these items, they need to maintain them well, use them well, so that the donors can be encouraged.
Let's give a round of applause. The ceremonial presentation is followed by the handing over of the vehicle keys and a walkthrough of the donated vehicles.
It is part of our social responsibility to return to the society, and also we regard Lagos State as our home. So the home needs the security, safety, protect the people. That is also part of the benefit to ourselves. So this donation is coming from the true heart from CIG Motors.
For CIG Motors, the message is clear. Supporting security goes beyond protecting lives. It is also about protecting businesses, jobs, investments, and securing the economic future of Lagos.
Business News is up next with Will Ebon.
Thank you, Ayo. And the latest OPEC monthly oil report shows that Nigeria has remained within its OPEC production quota in July, despite a month-on-month drop in crude output. Now, OPEC data shows crude production fell to 1.51 million barrels per day from 1.56 million barrels per day in June. That's a drop of 50,000 barrels per day. Now, the figure was still above Nigeria's 1.5 million barrels per day quota, keeping the country as Africa's top oil producer. Meanwhile, NUPLC data put that's total daily production, including 170,000 barrels of condensate at 1.67 million barrels in July. And the upstream regulator attributes the drop to operational challenges at the Era and Apple fields, while production at most other assets remained stable. And let's head to the domestic equities market, where bearish sentiments continued on the NGX as investors took profits in stocks, particularly in Boa Foods. Ladi has more details.
Well, the midweek trade continued with profit-taking in the second trading week of August after losing over 1 trillion yesterday. It's another drop, and it's a big drop, and it comes with lower volume and value of trades today. We see volume was down about 62%, value down about 35%, which could indicate, low selling conviction and maybe, a potential bullish sign. That's what the indicator says there. But market cap losing 160 trillion level. Let's look at the tier 1 banks now. The UGAZ of the Fugas dropped, sparing First Holdco unchanged today. UBA was down 2.15%. Another big 2.83% drop there for Access Core and Zenith, 1.34% down. And then for the sectors that we track now, we see the big drop there with consumer goods, almost 5% down today. Boa Foods with a 13.69 trillion naira market cap, that drop today, dragging the counter down big.
Thank you, Ladi. Let's hope we get one positive tomorrow. Let's check out the closing numbers for other major stock markets now. And that's business news. I'm Will Ibang. Is back to you, Ayo.
Many thanks, Will. Millions of people across the UK and Europe have witnessed the most significant solar eclipse since 1999. For most of the UK, more than 90% of the sun was covered by the moon. Here's Simon Hughes with more international news and around the world in 5 from our London studio.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Rescue workers in Colombia are working against the clock to free survivors trapped in buildings and under rubble following Monday's powerful earthquake. More than 180 people have been confirmed dead, most in the cities of Cali and Piera. The magnitude 7.4 quake was felt across an enormous area, stretching for hundreds of miles across western Colombia, with fresh aftershocks still being felt on Tuesday. While the official death toll remains at 181, an aggregated figure gathered from local officials puts it higher, potentially at more than 240. A state of emergency has been declared by President Abelardo de la Espriella. He said, as well as those killed, almost 2,600 had been injured and almost 200 people remain missing. He also reported that 1,100 homes had been destroyed and more than 8,000 had been damaged. With this tragedy, we mourn the entire Colombian people who have been affected. And of course, our very special thanks to our heroes, soldiers, police, civil defense, Red Cross, and of course the firefighters. A round of applause, please, for them. Thanks to them, many lives have been saved. President Donald Trump has confirmed that he secretly swapped planes as he left a NATO summit in Turkey last month due to a possible threat. The revelation comes after reports that Trump boarded Air Force One on the 8th of July in view of television cameras before hiding in a catering truck to be transported to a military aircraft.
Catering trucks in Turkey? Why did you use to do that?
Well, it's only up to Secret Service. I just follow what they'd like to do. So I go by Secret Service. And the military. They wanted me to go on a different flight, a different plane, equal safety, but they wanted me to do it, so I do it. I do what they say. I guess there was a threat out there. I didn't really ask them much about it. I get a lot of threats.
Lebanon's parliament has voted to abolish the death penalty, a move that would make it the first country in the Middle East to formally end capital punishment. A majority of MPs in the 128-seat parliament backed the measure, while Hezbollah's parliamentary bloc voted against it. The legislation will now go to the cabinet before being passed to President Joseph Aoun for signing. The government has already expressed its support for the measure. Lebanon has not carried out an execution since January 2024, although courts have continued to hand down death sentences. Rights groups estimate that more than 78 people remain on death row. Officials have said at least 15 people have died after a boat carrying dozens of people sank on Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe, with rescue operations continuing. Police said 90 passengers and 5 crew were on board the vessel when it capsized, but it may have been overloaded, with other reports pointing to a higher number based on the registered ticket sales. The vessel was hit by a strong wave and overturned, according to police. Footage shared online appears to show the hull floating in the water. Lake Kariba, which straddles the border with Zambia, is one of the world's largest man-made reservoirs, supporting transport and fishing and providing vital hydroelectric power to both countries. N. Chandrasekhan, the chairman of Tata Group, has said he will not seek reappointment when his term ends in February. The 63-year-old said the decision came after the board of Tata Sons could not reach a resolution on a 5-year extension of his term, months after the first proposal came up. The news sent shares of listed Tata companies plunging and has led to questions over what lies ahead for the huge salt-to-steel conglomerate that owns Air India, Tata Steel and Jaguar Land Rover. Chandrasekhan's resignation, which comes days ahead of Tata Sons' annual general board meeting, points to tensions that have been playing out for months after a boardroom power battle erupted between trustees. And Steven Bieberhausen, a former college track star, has unofficially smashed the world record for the fastest mile pushing a buggy or stroller, clocking 4 minutes 17 seconds, with 1-year-old daughter Blake along for the ride at Cleveland's Guardian Mile.
You ready? Go, 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 go.
If confirmed by Guinness, it knocks 9 seconds off the previous best. Blake, for her part, seemed entirely unbothered by the pace. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.
Thank you, Simon. Welcome to Sports News. Champions League winners PSG rubber-stamped their status as Europe's top team as they beat Aston Villa 2-1 in the UEFA Super Cup. Varaskelia and Desiree Doué netted either side of a debut goal for Villa teenager Brian Mojo in Salzburg as PSG defended the title, the first one 12 months ago against another Premier League side, Tottenham Hotspur. And Super Falcons head coach Justin Madugu has affirmed his team's determination to maximize their second chance at qualifying for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil as they prepare for Thursday's playoff against South Africa following a Sunday quarter-final loss to Cameroon at the Women's African Cup of Nations that cost them automatic qualification. Madugu noted that the setback only strengthened the team's resolve to overcome South Africa and keep their tournament hopes alive. And South Africa's head coach Desiree Elise and defender Karabo Dlamini have expressed strong determination as Banyana prepare for a high-stake FIFA Women's World Cup playoff, or rather playing clash against Nigeria's Super Falcons at the Molly Rashid Stadium in Casablanca. Drawing on her extensive experience against the African champions, Ellie stressed that her side must remain physically and mentally sharp to capitalize on this secondary pathway to the global showpiece. That's sports. It's back to you, Ayo.
And the main news again. The Accord Party today cancelled open rallies across Osun State as Governor Ademola Adeleke urged residents to stay calm, vigilant and peaceful ahead of the governorship election on Saturday. And Senator Francis Fadausi honored police summons, denied allegedly ordering supporters to kill Accord Party members, insisted viral video was edited and remarks misrepresented ahead of Saturday's election. And the Senate gave Seplat Energy, Network EMP Niger, and 2 other oil firms 48 hours to answer questions arising from NATI's 2021, 2022, and 2023 audit reports. And millions across the United Kingdom and Europe witnessed most significant solar eclipse since 1999, creating a rare celestial spectacle. So, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun. Do have a good night.
If you're wondering what's buzzing, who's making waves, and what's set to take over your screens, we've got you covered. This is Entertainment News on Channels Television. I am Kenny Akiwumi. Coming up on the program, veteran rapper Idris Abdul Karim welcomes his son into the Lacrim Entertainment family. We head to London for an exclusive look at Bolanle Austin Peters' Dear Cafe. Plus, we round up 5 of the latest Nollywood titles making their way to the big screen. All these and more coming your way, so stay with us. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree as veteran rapper Idris Abdul Karim announces his son Abdul Rahim, known as DJ Papi, as the new official DJ of Lacrim Entertainment. The announcement comes at a press conference in Lagos, where Idris also unveils a new initiative, the Nigerian Governor's Report Card Series. Get more.
Go ahead and sing your song.
Idris, you promise say you go marry me. See me.
Veteran rapper Idris Abdul Karim spotlights his son Abdul Rahim, introducing him to the Lacrim Entertainment family as DJ Papi, the label's official disc jockey.
It feels good to know that the money that I'll pay a DJ outside, you know,
it's coming back to the house.
I'm paying it back to the house. So it's a good thing for me. So I felt it's time for him to be, you know, officially recognized as Lacrim Entertainment official DJ. So Abdul Rahim Abdul Karim DJ Papi, aka.
The announcement comes during a press conference in Lagos, where Lacrim Entertainment also unveils its Nigerian Governor's Report Card Series, an initiative designed to assess the performance of Nigeria's 36 state governors and the Minister of the Federal Capital